All right, Shalom, Shalom. Call Halo Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah Kradash. Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth from. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders, the prophets, the teachers, and evangelists, all of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth from. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham. Shalom also to the elder bishops. Shalaki. Shalom also to the speckled bird, the confused face, the Akim and Akwab, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. Back again with another video. I pray that you be edified with it. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to name this, but I'm going to let this man talk. And I do have some scriptures and, to pull out, and, the Spirit is on me. Get some precepts with those as well. So let's let him talk, or like they like to say today, cook, and we'll move on from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, after today, I do have proof that we are getting out of here very, very quickly. Now, I monitor everything, but sometimes things they sneak on by us. Now, the Digital Currency Act starts in effect today. Now, they disguise it. They have disguised this thing. This is this big, okay? There was 847 pages of this thing, and it's disguised. It's part of that big, what is it? It's not part of the big, beautiful bill. It's part of the Genius Act, which you remember Green was talking about it being the mark of the beast, which it is. This thing, my nose itching off, people. This thing was passed by the House. It's already passed. Trump signed it into law on Monday. It takes effect today. This thing, now, every time that you make any kind of payment to the federal government, it's got to be with this digital currency, this stable coin. It's no different. The CDB, whatever they do it. And the funny thing is, he campaigned that was not what he was going to do, and that's exactly what he did. He just changed the name of it to a stable coin. Now, before it was up to $10,000 you could get out of the bank, and, that didn't have to turn that in. Now it's down to $300, and it's got to be tracked through digital. Everything you buy now will be tracked. Everything. This is the mark of the beast system, people, is being implemented right now. It's in its early stages, but the tracking for surveillance has started. It has already begun. It starts today. Remember, we talked about BlackRock coming out. Remember, we talked about this week. They said after this week, everything would change. This is it. This is what they're talking about. So at this point, they can start tracking everything down to every piece of gold and silver, every precious metal. It's in there. If you buy precious metal at a pawn shop or everything, if they don't turn it in, they get fined. They track everything now. No more paper checks. If you're going to pay through the federal government, you got to pay through this stable coin, which is all tracked. It's all surveillance. They did this right under everybody's nose through this Epstein stuff. I told you, every time they even start talking about it, you better be watching, because they're doing something really snaky underneath. This right here, and they're going to sell this as a way to get rid of all the bad guys. The bad guys will find a way around this. This is against the mom and pop stores. This is surveillance on the elderly. This is surveillance on everybody. That's what it is. It's surveillance. Exactly what the Bible told us. Now that I know that this has come to pass, I know our time here is limited, very limited, because this right here sets up the mark of the beast. We told you they was in a hurry to try to get all this done. We told you. And Trump passed it in the law.
So I got two scriptures I want to get. Let me get the first one from what he's saying. Because he's 100% correct about what he's saying. Revelation 12:12, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." Okay, let me get another scripture I want to get. This is Matthew 26:41, and it reads, it's Yahweh Shai speaking, and it reads, "Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." So we ought to watch and pray, and we are not ignorant. Let me get it. Let me get it. Let me get it. And I'm in my Bible today, which I just, been wanting to just flick some pages around, flip the scriptures around a little bit. It's cool. It's all right to use the computer, but they're gonna shut that down soon. And what are you gonna do when they shut that down? Okay. Bear with me 1 second while I find. I'm looking for my fingers is cold. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And what are his devices? His devices are using Epstein files and using the Super Bowl, creating the C-hip, the one for the brain, one for the hand, letting the small hats have control of TikTok, so that no one could start talking against them. And if they do, they get penalized. And like this guy is saying, they're going to be able to monitor everything. These are the devices, and we're not ignorant to the devices of the devil. So we know what's happening. Let them go. Keep going.
No media, and here's the thing, this right here tells you that Fox and all them, they're garbage. None of them. They're supposed to be for us, and, America first, every bit of that's garbage. Every bit of it. This right here proves to me, we know we're watching for the mark of the beast system. We know they're building it, but now it's in play. At least the beginning stages of it. Even with the beginning stages tells me we're out of here at any time. Now this right here is coming out too. If the U.S. is not going to enter Iran on the ground, we are flying main battle tanks into Jordan. Why? You heard me correctly. We're flying tons of M1A1s in there. I suspect the U.S. intends to seize Iran's oil and gas fields. Looking at a map below, one sees almost all of Iran's oil and gas fields are in the far west of the country. Now, from the border with Armenia, where the U.S. military equipment and troops are also flooding in, this is happening right now in real time, down to near Kuwait border, where this makes sense because we're getting ready to seize all of Venezuela oil. And we're going after the oil tankers. So this right here makes sense. This is what they're going to do. All the way to Bandar Abbas, opposite of the Persian Gulf, and all the main Middle Eastern military bases and U.S. allies.
This is Psalms 64:8, and it reads, "So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." And this is what's happening right now. No one is continuously staying an ally to Babylon, to America. They are all fleeing away, like the scriptures say in Revelation that they will all shoot at her. Roughly paraphrasing, but they all its alliances are going against Babylon, and everybody will be an enemy to Babylon. "And all the men that shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing." This is when they're going to be looking for the elder apostles on down to understand why these things happening, because now we don't have any more scoffers. Well, we still have scoffers, the men of the Lord still have scoffers, but not like they used to, like 10, 15 years ago, because now, as Elder Apostle Tahar has said, that these prophecies are coming to pass. So now they're scared. So now they're going to know why these things are happening the way they are, and they're going to want more detail and understanding the scriptures. And I'm not going to get it, but it's going to be Amos 8 and 11 that's going to come into play, and the Most High is going to take his men off of the highways and byways, and also take them off of these platforms. Because why? Because Esau is going to start trying to hunt the men of the Yahweh and Yahweh Shai down, because that's what they really want. The righteous shall be glad in Yahweh, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. Okay? Let them continue.
Seems to me if we grab Iran's oil and gas fields, the entire government will go bust within a week or two and collapse. No long drawn out war. Just my guess based on the public availability images of public available news stories. So we're, like I said, all the equipment. You don't see on it. If you're going to just do airstrikes, you don't see it in the tanks. As I said, we've been watching C-17 activity and all this stuff, rushing all these tanks in there. There is something here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're right in the middle of it. And all that's happening with all this digital stuff. All of it happening at one time. You got to have your head on a swivel, and that's why you guys come here, because my head's on a swivel, and I'm watching everything that moves around the earth. And that right there was passed right under my feet, and I missed it. Because, see, they fooled me with the stable coin. I didn't really understand it until this. I had to watch this video, start going through this. It's 847 pages. It is called the Digital Currency Act. And, there are so many gems hidden in that. Any wonders, Marjorie or Green was screaming the beast system, because that's what this is. It's what it is. And they just passed it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the way things are going to go here from here on out, like I said, he's going to break that down of your transitions and transactions through your bank and everything. It used to, like I said, it went from 10,000 down to 300. They're going to track everything from this point. And the reason why, because we already know why. We know the tribulation's coming. That's what this is for. It's for him.
Woo-hoo. This man is cooking. I don't know if he's an Israelite or not, but how he's talking, like the spirit is on him. I could be wrong, but he's speaking the truth. He understands what's going on. This is Micah 6 and 10. Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? No. These are the devils that the Bible speaks of, and Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is going to do exactly what he said he's going to do to these devils, and they can continue to, do their scants and, do their scams and things of that nature to plan for the NWO and how they're going to get that C-hip going. Well, we already understand, like we said, we're not ignorant to the devil's devices, so we already know how he's going to try to use people to get ahead and take that C-hip. And believe it or not, majority of people are ready for it. So gradually they're about to get ready to take away all the goodies that is free, so that you can only come to them for everything that you want.
So is the NBA still a basketball league, or is it just a collection of Epstein?
Wait, does size matter?
So, ladies and gentlemen, after today, the beginning stages tells me we're out of here at any time. Now, this right here is coming out too. If the U.S. is not going to enter Iran on the ground, we are flying main battle tanks into Jordan. Why? You heard me correctly. We're flying tons of M1A1s in there. I suspect the U.S. intends to seize Iran's oil and gas fields. Looking at a map below, one sees almost all of Iran's oil and gas fields are in the far west of the country. Now, from the border with Armenia, where the U.S. military equipment and troops are also flooding in, this is happening right now in real time, down to near Kuwait border, where more, see, this makes sense because we're getting ready to seize all of Venezuela oil. And we're going after the oil tankers. So this right here makes sense. This is what they're going to do. All the way to Bandar Abbas, opposite of the Persian Gulf, and all the main Middle Eastern military bases and U.S. allies. Seems to me if we grab Iran's oil and gas fields, the entire government will go bust within a week or two and collapse. No long drawn out war. Just my guess based on the public availability images of public available news stories. So we're, like I said, all the equipment. You don't sit on, if you're going to just do airstrikes, you don't sit in the tanks. As I said, we've been watching C-17 activity and all this stuff, rushing all these tanks in there. There is something here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're right in the middle of it. And all that's happening with all this digital stuff. All of it happening at one time. You got to have your head on a swivel, and that's why you guys come here, because my head's on a swivel, and I'm watching everything that moves around the earth. And that right there was passed right under my feet, and I missed it. Because, see, they fooled me with this stable coin. I didn't really understand it until this. I had to watch this video, start going through this. It's 847 pages. It is called the Digital Currency Act. And, there are so many gems hidden in that. Any wonders, Marjorie Green was screaming the beast system, because that's what this is. It's what it is. And they just passed it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the way things are going to go here from here on out, like I said, he's going to break that down of your transitions and transactions through your bank and everything. It used to, like I said, it went from 10,000 down to 300. They're going to track everything from this point. And the reason why, because we already know why. We know the tribulation's coming. That's what this is for. It's for him.
So check this out. I just went to the AI overview of it, and it says, in 2026, the United States digital currency landscape is shaped by the implementation of the Genius Act, signed July 2025 by, yours truly, and proposed legislation to ban a federal central bank digital currency, CBDC. Key 2026 focus areas include regulating stablecoin issuers, establishing market structure for digital asset, and increasing instructional participation with CARF tax rules taking effect in the UK. Stablecoin regulation, which is enacted in July. Okay. Anti-CBDC legislation, the proposed No CBDC Act and Anti-CBDC Act Surveillance States Act 119th Congress 2025-26 aim to prevent the Federal Reserve from issuing a digital dollar directly to individuals, reflecting a push for privacy and decentralized private sector-led innovation. So, like he said, they're going to get ready to cut this dollar. Really, this dollar is already done with. It's just a matter of quick time, right? So let's continue.
Setting it up for him. Thursday, February 5th, this is the day that Russian-American Strategic Arms Treaty expired. Now they come out and said, okay, we've established the red phone. Do not believe anything they say. Because they're lying about everything else. Everything they're lying about.
Everything.
While this symbolic closes a 50-year charter.
This is, listen to this. This is 2 Peter 3:10, and it reads, Salaki 3:9, go up one. Yahweh is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt the fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So what this man is talking about here is going to come to pass, that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah's time is going to come to pass to destroy this place. And this is what we're getting closer and closer and closer to. This is why we're even more excited about it as well, because we know that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. So it's almost time to get up out of here, man. And we can't wait, man. We know that we're going to have to go through some long suffering, like it said. You know, we know we're going to have to deal with temptations, and, you know, as the scriptures say that, you know, Israel is going to be saved through much tribulation. But we know that we are going to get the victory with Yahweh Shai coming back to get us up out of here, man. I'm going to let him continue.
From nuclear arms control, a practice of the era meaningful Russian-American negotiations in the spirit ended long ago. The reasons are both objective and political, global, geopolitical, and underscores tectonic change. Nuclear multipolarity is now a fact. Advanced conventional weapons can achieve strategic effects. Once associated only with nuclear arms, new domains in confrontation have opened up in the cyberspace, outer space, and even biotechnology. Old numeral limits on warheads and delivery systems have become detached from military reality. The decisive subjective factor was Washington's growing unwillingness to remain bound by commitments made by different historical contexts, the late Cold War and its aftermath. Arms control is often equated with strategic stability. The devil wants them to be made doing all this, ladies and gentlemen. The devil's setting all this up. In spring 2022, while the New START Treaty was still formally enforced, the U.S. openly declared its aim to inflicting a strategic defeat on Russia and Ukraine proxy. That has not changed. They sell you a bunch of lies that Trump is trying to work with Russia. They are not. That same thing that was happening in Joe Biden's time is happening here, because those same people that control that whole thing is now doing the same thing again. The people that's controlling these are the banks. These are some of the most, it goes right back to these files. Ladies and gentlemen, we lost the country a long time ago. I hate to be the one to bring that news to you, but we lost it a long time ago. It's being controlled by a whole other entity at this point. And that entity wants the people gone. These are rich elites that they're making a power grab against each other. They're trying to grab all the resources, and we're just in the way. God knows this. That's why the rapture of the church is about to take place, and the judgment upon this earth is about to come. All this stuff that I've been talking to you about is all set up for this dark, cloudy day that we've talked about. Everything, down to this Digital Currency Act. It's all setting the stage for our exit. All of it is. Now there's also news about Trump and releasing this UFO stuff. We're not alone, which we already know we're not. We know they're demons. But they're going to sell this to the people that are not awake. And you're talking about craziness, people. It's all coming at one time. Every bit of it's coming at one time. Insider selling getting worse. Right now, these people, these elites, are getting wealthy beyond belief. In shambles. Many people high-track volume insiders flow every single day. Some of them are noticing the difference. Divergence is extreme. Out of the 200 significant insider transactions the past week, all 200 were sales. While they're telling you the economy is doing great, they're dumping everything they have because they know this day that they got planned is coming. The only people that don't know is the ones that are not God's sheep. They don't know. And that's the dark, cloudy day. And all this stuff, that's my alarm system. It's funny how it went off when we're talking about this. Economist Peter Schiff, U.S. Entertainment.
This is Habakkuk 2 and 3, and it reads, highlight that right there. Habakkuk 2 and 3, and it reads, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And now it has not tarried. We are here in the time that was said to happen. And now people are nervous and they're scared and they don't know what to do. And like he said, that's because you're not rooted in this truth. So you're not going to understand what's happening. And that's going to drive you to go look for the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, but they're not going to be around. You're going to be too late Too late, my friend. Let him go.
Financial crisis, dollar collapse. We've told you it's coming. The Great Reset, all this stuff, this Digital Currency Act now put into place, this is where all the cash will go. Goodbye. The well-known economist Peter Schiff made a series of statements that went viral on X platform. The dollar will collapse. This guy's like, what is he? Come on, Christopher. A lot of stuff coming out today. My brain's just trying to do too many things. Buffett. So this guy knows what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is not no fluke. The dollar will be replaced by gold. We are heading towards an economic crisis that will make the 2008 financial crisis look like a Sunday school picnic. Global central banks are massively selling their U.S. Treasury bonds. We told you this. China and Russia own most of our debt, and they're selling it. That's going to cause this thing to collapse. And they know it. That's why they got to lie to you and tell you everything's great. It's never been a better economy. Never been greater. All a lie. Every bit of it. And the devil has everybody eaten out of his hand at this point. The only people that truly know what's about to happen is God's sheep. And you that are listening.
This is 1 John 2:15 in the Good News translation, and it reads, "Do not love the world or anything that belongs to the world. If you love the world, you do not love the Father."
Because everybody that's got any sense can see the writing on the wall here. The upcoming crisis will be worse than 2008, but focus on U.S. dollar collapse. That's what they want. Remember, he cannot have the U.S. dollar in the tribulation. The stuff that I've told you today, 1,000% proves dispensations. We knew it was in this time period when Jesus was going to rapture his church. If you study Scripture, he gives you a time limit. And that's one thing the church quit teaching. As part of that great falling away, the rapture, all that stuff, they quit teaching it. They wanted to because the devil didn't want it taught. The thing is, many people, a lot of churches are going to lead. I'm telling you, that people are going to be led straight into the tribulation. I'm telling you, as I'm sitting here. The rest of the world will benefit, led by BRICS, China, Russia, India, new members, but accumulating gold and diversifying. And as I said right now, all the elites buying their bunkers, getting their supplies, buying up all the precious metals. They know what's coming because they are the ones doing it. They know this, and that's why God's warned us what they're going to do. And when that trigger goes, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gone. Please get saved today. Do not wait another day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, the writing's on the wall. This stuff is right out there, but they know nobody's going to go looking for it. They know. They're going to trust the news sources, and they make fun of them every day because of it. While they lie and lie and lie, the devil.
And lie. This is Isaiah 66:15, and it reads, "For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." You can also go to 2 Thessalonians 1:8 is a good precept. But yeah, man. They're not. Yahweh Shai is not playing, G. Not playing at all, man.
Has everybody believing that everything's great, that God is going to bring back all this stuff, and it's all absolutely a lie. Everything from the economy. Listen, there is businesses shutting down by them. I told you, I'm on the ground. People can't even pay their power bill. This great economy they're talking about does not exist. That's why they took off literally all the stuff about the jobs reports, unemployment. They don't want nobody to see it. They want to keep it hid until that dark, cloudy day. That's what this is, ladies and gentlemen. These people that trust these people are going to get a rude awakening very, very soon. It's all there. And all we can do is warn you to get saved, because that's the only defense.
Unfortunately, a lot of our Jake women, we already know that the men are going to get it, but a lot of Jake women, because they're so stuck in fairy tale, the reality is going to kick in for them really bad, and they're not going to understand why.
Is this? There is none. Now that this stuff is being established, the end is nigh. Bottom line. Iran warns it will strike U.S. bases if attacked. We've heard this. They've kept talking about it. They want you to know that. The press wants you to know that because it's part of this. Iran will strike American bases in the Middle East if the U.S. attacks the country. Iran foreign minister has warned. The U.S. and Iran held indirect talks with Alman on Friday. U.S. President Trump has warned of further attacks unless Iran resumes the negotiations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right here, they already know they're going to war there. They're lying to you. Once again, another lie. If they're dropping off M1A1s, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the writing's on the wall. They're going to do a ground invasion in there. They don't do that. Okay? They already got tanks in the Middle East. They don't need to be flying more in there. We've already got a lot of M1A1s over there. Don't need to fly anymore unless they're going to do an invasion. Friday's meeting marked the first attempts to bridge the standoff, which I've told you, all garbage, all that. While that was happening, while they had you distracted with that and Epstein files, they did that to you. It's all part of this. Speaking to Al Jazeera on Saturday, welcomed the resumption of talks, which is a good starting point, which, like I said, all garbage. If Washington attacks, there's no possibility of attacking U.S. soil, but we will strike their bases in the region, he said. Don't trust that either. They've got a lot of cells here in this country. All this is preparing you. The devil always tells you what they're going to do before they do it. The only people that's going to be shocked are the ones that are not looking. They're going to get the shock of their life when all this stuff happens, and it's going to come down. God has spent years telling everybody and showing people what's coming in the tribulation. We've seen it. Down to their uniforms. And it's the same uniforms ISIS is wearing. Like I said, that's going to be reversed once we leave. ICE and all that will be reversed, and they'll be hunting down Christians. The ones who declared Jesus as God. That's who they're going to hunt down. As soon as we leave, that's what's going to happen. Trump held the Alman talks as very good. Of course he did. Once again, showing everybody everything's fine.
Check it out. This is predictive programming in movies, and the AI overview refers to conspiracy theory that films subtly program or prepare audiences for future events or social shifts. That's what the predictive programming is. And this is what they've been doing for many, many, many years. Many years.
You don't need to go prepare yourself, get it ready. Everybody, I'm telling you, it makes me sick to my stomach. I never thought in the world, but they will lie to the very last second. They're going to lie. And I know it now for a fact. They're going to lie to the very last second. And everybody's going to buy into this. That's why it's so important to be awake right now. Because I'm telling you, the writing is on the wall. But they're going to literally lie to the very last second. Unbelievable. People are pure evil. Pure evil. Now this is on...
That's why, scriptures like this, is comfort for me. But this is Psalms 110:1, and it reads, the Psalms of David, Yahweh said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. So even though, like this man is expressing and breaking it down, Danny Boy is his name, they are all going to be servitude to us. They are all going to praise the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and they're all going to do the right thing and follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. And whoever doesn't is going to get that real swift A kicking, and they even may be deleted and then brought back so they can go back into slavery, man. So, we just got to continue to long suffering, man. Hang in there. Hang in there.
And Fernandez, and I think it's important. We need to know this. Now, Ramadan begins on February the 18th, 2026, and goes to March 19th. These are important days. On March the 3rd, another blood moon will transpire. God has warned me about this blood moon. Don't know why the warning. He doesn't warn me about the rapture, people. That's not what I get these things for. These are events that can happen in these time periods. That he is warning us a lot about this time period we're in. And now we see all this. We know why. Now, the rapture could happen anywhere in here. Brother John and Brother Ronnie talk about this. Even though I can see a date, doesn't mean that we're going to be in it. So, definitely, we could be gone at any time at this point. Because now, the writing's on the wall. Clock's ticking. Now, here I'm signaling a harbinger that America with Israel are going to war with Iran again, February, March the 2026. So,
It's almost time to get, like you said, it's almost time to get out of here, man. I got one more scripture, and I'm gonna let him finish out. You know, and if Abba Ratazab, the Spirit is on me to give you another scripture, then I will. But I'm gonna read this scripture. I'm gonna let him finish out. But this is 2 Peter 3:13, and in the GNT, and it reads, "But we wait for what the Most High has promised, new heavens and a new earth, where righteousness will be at home, and His devil is gonna be under us, man. We can't wait." I'm gonna let him finish out. You know what I'm saying?
all these things, ladies and gentlemen, none of this stuff's coincidental. None of it. And it's all tied to Israel. That's why you're supposed to watch them. The files, this right here, everything revolves around Israel. Everything. That tells us right there, there's your time clock. And then all this stuff is just extra telling you, hey, you better know your Bible prophecy. That the mark of the beast system is being put into place. It's starting to get steam. Because this stuff ain't going to roll out immediately. Even though today it starts, they're still going to have to probably, tweak it a couple of times to get it where they want to go. But like I said, I'm going to leave that in the pinned comment. You need to watch that video. He breaks it down. He knows more about that stuff than I do. And like I said, I've seen him on Hal Turner, so I know that this guy, he's read the bill, all 847 pages of it, and he can break it down better than I can, because I'm not even on page 20. Right now, I'm telling you, it's something else. So I'm going to put that in the pinned comment. Make sure that you watch it. I don't care how old you are. This right here is going to tell this right here tells you 100% the rapture is here. 100%. There is no denial of it. The Bible tells us what this leads to. That is the end of tribulation. This is what the Antichrist will use, not just here, all around the world. Now, we already know the rest of the world, Britain and all Europe's already going to it. The only places that are not really part of that is Russia and China, and I think China's already doing their version of it. But Russia will fall into place after the Antichrist comes in. And it's already been basically set up there, too, in its own way. But this right here controls the world. So they control what you buy or sell. They know if you're trying to prep, if you're buying too much gas. This right here, it tells everything. There won't be any more time where you can just go buy ammo. They can literally cut you off from that with this if you're buying too much. They're going to want to know why you're buying too much. Yeah, that's where we are today. And Trump passed it. All those, oh boy, well, he's sent by God. Yeah, God brought him in there, but not for the purpose everybody thought he was.
Yes, he did.
That right there proves it 100%.
Yes, he did. He brought him here exactly for what he's doing. So with that, Abba Ratazah, you are edified. I'm going to say, call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKradash, Shalom, and salutations and double honors again to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, where I continue to learn this 100% truth. And Shalom to the elect of Baba Kusha. And to, like my teacher would say, we got next. Shalom.